black Klan group running around, saying it's time for violence. I've got their quotes here. We've got another article out on it at Infowars.com last night that scrolled off. You guys print that for me. It's in the featured news archive. And then you've got all these other people that are just upset about their lives, upset that they don't have good-paying jobs or the welfare checks aren't big enough, or they're scared and tired of being pushed around by the cops. They're out protesting, and then just mixed in with it are all these hoodlums. And I'm just sick of the hoodlum culture that's sold and promoted by MTV and the radio and the culture across the board. It's not just inner city blacks. There's all sorts of versions of weird bully, fake tough guy, weird country rap, and weird hoodlum rock and roll, and just a culture of just trashiness. Men who aren't men, men that never had dads around, people that just think acting like thugs is tough and is cool. We've got some of those clips coming up. And I see the hoodlums with masks on their faces covering up who they are, and the police doing it. And just the rudeness. It freaks me out, because what's going to happen when the dollar fully devalues? What's going to happen as the industrial base sinks even faster? And we've got people that are third, fourth, fifth generation living on welfare in the countryside, in the inner cities, everywhere, who don't know how to provide for themselves. What's going to happen during this flux where the robots replace the humans with most jobs, from custodial positions to factory jobs to driverless cars? What's going to happen is the designed implosion of society. And I liken it to a Mars mission that takes a year there, 6 months on the ground, and a year back. The reason they haven't launched a Mars mission is because it's cost prohibitive, but also because most of the people that go will probably end up having heart attacks once they get there or on the way back, because no matter how much exercise they do, even if it's a spacecraft that's spinning that creates some centrifugal force and some gravity, the people will be like invalids once they return to Earth, even if they survive. You say, what's that have to do with this? We are immersed in a whole new culture of GMO and electrical frequency pollution and chemicals in the food and water, and hundreds of hours a week, for many people, for a lot of folks, 30, 40, 50 hours a week of television and screen time. And you can see the IQs dropping. You can see the numbers of diseases and illnesses skyrocketing. You can see the mutation and the de-evolution of humanity in front of everyone. The degeneration. I think about the people I knew when I was a little kid in the countryside that were super hardworking, super good looking, super tough, super cool. And now I go back to where my family's from, and it looks like people that are still alive there, haven't moved out, have been hit by mutation rays, and all they do is watch satellite TV all day. If they even have a job in town, it's at a prison or at a power plant, and there's no culture, and they are literally just waiting to die. And I see the young people, not even so much my family, but just the locals, and they look like absolute hell and never even basically get out of their pajamas all day long, even if they go to a job. And then I see the inner city people, it's just exactly the same thing. It's not that I'm putting them down because they're black. It's like I'm not putting down white people in East Texas. They look and talk and act like hell and have been turned into trash. And it's disgusting. And it's getting worse. And the system's greasing the skids to make it as bad as they can and write all these textbooks admitting it, that they've dumbed everyone down to bring us into world government. And the end game is forced population reduction. American humans in zero gravity and how that's prohibitive to long-term or long-duration missions in space. And I was likening it to the artificial environment we're in with the smartphones and the electromagnetic frequencies and the GMO and the chemicals and then the psychological warfare and the cultural breakdown and also the easiness of life compared to what it used to be. You get a welfare check. You can go get food even though it's GMO crud. You can lay around and watch Judge Judy all day. You can lay around and watch Oprah Winfrey all day and then see stories of the rich and famous and have class envy of people that have yachts and helicopters. And then you go to the shopping mall and you see the folks that are exercising. You see the middle class that's got money and that's got money to not eat GMO and they look healthy, whether they're black or white or Hispanic, and you are envious of them. You hate them. And that's what you see when the dumbed down country folks come into town in the big city and see the beautiful people. In the elite areas of town, they get freaked out. They get insecure. And that's what happens when you get the dumbed down, poisoned inner city people struggling to try to make it as well, but born into an artificial, sick culture where we abort millions of children a year and just say they're not humans, not even knowing any better. So I don't sit up here and look at poor, pathetic country people, whether they be black or white or Hispanic, and look down my nose at them. Or I don't look at poor inner city black people, dumbed down, ignorant, brought up in the system. I feel sorry for them. But at the same time, they have been forged into a political weapon. Just like the poor people pouring in from Nicaragua and El Salvador and Guatemala, some of the most dangerous, broken places in the world, a poisonous transfusion. Signing them on to the Democratic Party and the welfare class to be the new political enforcer class in this country. You can see what the technocracy is doing, shipping in unlimited numbers of Somalis into Minnesota, into New York, into Las Vegas to take over the cab businesses. I'm not against the Somali people. But you talk about coming from somewhere with a total breakdown of society and absolute Stone Age level barbarism and culture and women treated like, worse than animals. And it's politically correct. Oh, what a neat culture. Let's adopt it. Oh, my gosh. You're wearing Levi's. You're a white guy driving a truck. That's sick and racist and homophobic. I bet you don't know how to read the New York Times. Oh, my gosh, look at the white man, how bad he is. But, oh, you're from Somalia or Sudan where they sexually mutilate the girls and don't let them out of the house, and then we can chain women up in houses here in America? Oh, that's their culture. Well, my culture's owning guns and treating women good and having private property and being wealthy and being successful and not being treated like a slave by the police. And I'm uppity. And I'm not going to back down, and I'm not going to be pushed around, and that's why the police treat me with respect, because they know I'll take them to court. They know I'll stand up to them. They want to be my servant. They want to be a defender of the Constitution. I'll support them. I'll admire them. They want to turn into paramilitary thugs sitting on top of a rotting country full of a bunch of dumbed-down trash. I'm not going to be treated like all the trash. I'm not going to lay down in the gutter. I'm not going to be run over anymore. I'm not going to have bureaucrats come in my house or come in my office without warrants. I'm not going to kiss up to uniforms and badges. All that is like ancients wearing headdresses or crowns. I don't like the Queen of England. I'm not going to bow down to her if she walked by. They invited me to go meet the Queen of England but said I had to bow to her. That woman living off the people of England and her family, bunch of usurpers for hundreds of years, make me want to throw up. All of your ceremonial outfits, all of your headdresses, all of your costumes, all of it don't mean jack crap if they don't symbolize the republic and freedom, then I'm all for symbols. Symbols are power, Molon Labe. I'll wear a decoration of a nickel belt buckle that celebrates men not turning their guns in or their weapons in.
We're on the mark.